Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig Sports. This is the MLB DFS Core Pick video for today, Monday, April 29th. If you are joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. We will not be having a recap since it's been since Friday, since the last MLB DFS video. So we'll be starting off over on RotoWire with the weather report, talking about any games that do have at least a double-digit chance of rain or higher. And then after that, we'll get moved over to FanDuel, talk about my core picks. It's going to be one pitcher, 4 hitters. It's going to be based on a combination of past performance versus their respective opponents, as well as recent history. Keep in mind today, not a long list of history for a lot of these guys going against each other. And then after that, we'll get moved over to my MLB DFS cheat sheet and talk about my top GPP teams to stack for tonight's slate overall. And that cheat sheet is 100% free. It's up on the Sports Affiliation website. But without further ado, we'll get started with that weather report for today. So there's only going to be 2 games today that do have a double-digit chance of rain. We have the Chicago Cubs and New York Mets out in New York, 26% chance of rain there. So we'll keep an eye on that one as the day moves along. That is going to be the highest chance that we do have all day. And then we also have over in Chicago, the Chicago White Sox and the Minnesota Twins, 10% chance of rain in Chicago. So we'll keep an eye out on that one, but not one that I am majorly concerned about whatsoever. So pretty simple day in terms of weather, at least early on. If anything does majorly change as the day moves along, we'll have that listed down in the comments below. But without further ado, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about those core picks for tonight's slate. So once again, it is going to be one pitcher and 4 hitters. It's going to be based on a combination of past performance versus their respective opponents, as well as recent history. So we're going to start off at the pitcher position with Joe Ryan at $10,900. He's going against the Chicago White Sox tonight, averaging about 37 fantasy points per game. He feels like the safest pitcher as we kind of start off the day, but he is also the most expensive at the same time as well. So we're looking for at least 40 points at him. Had 43 versus the White Sox earlier this season in his most recent start. He had 42 and 43 versus them last year. Had some pretty good history versus them in the past. Although, if you look at what he's done so far this year, it's a 3.45 ERA and just a 1 win. So hopefully we can squeak out another win out of him once again tonight. Then we're going to move down to third base with Alec Bohm. You could also play him at first base. He is going against Griffin Canning of the Los Angeles Angels tonight. And he has no career history versus Griffin Canning in the past, but Alec Bohm is hitting the ball extremely well as of late, $3,500. And he's probably one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball. He's on a 12-game hitting streak right now that does include 8 multi-hit games, so definitely do love the upside that he does present tonight overall. And then Griffin Canning for the Los Angeles Angels has not been pitching well whatsoever. So the Philadelphia Phillies are going to be one of those teams that we do like kind of stacking tonight overall. Then at shortstop, we're going to go with Willie Castro. He's $2,700, averaging just under 8 fantasy points per game on the season. You can also play him at third base as well as outfield. So a very versatile piece at a cheap price tag, $2,700 once again. Hitting .250 with 2 home runs and 10 RBIs on the season. But he is 3 for 4 in his career with 1 home run versus Garrett Crochet, the expected starting pitcher for the White Sox tonight. He's on a modest 5-game hitting streak, and 4 of those games have been multi-hit games. So Willie Castro getting regular playing time as of late, and he's been doing really well with that playing time overall. And then we're going to move down to our outfielders. We got Lourdes Gurriel Jr. for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He is $3,500, averaging just under 12 fantasy points per game on the season. Got off to a pretty strong start. His last 3 games have been hitless, but before that he was on a 5-game hitting streak, which did include 3 multi-hit games. And if you look at what he's done so far in his career versus James Paxton, the expected starting pitcher for the Dodgers tonight, 4 for 13 with 2 home runs. So definitely some pretty strong upside to be had there. $3,500 does sound like a decent amount of money, but is a little bit of a pay down spot for him and what he's done so far to start the season. And then last but not least, we have Luis Rengifo of the Los Angeles Angels here tonight. A guy that is very versatile as well. You can play him at second base, shortstop, and outfield. Hitting .289 on the season, 1 home run, 8 RBIs, averaging just under 9 fantasy points per game, $2,600. So pretty cheap price tag to be had there. And he is 1 for 3 in his career with Christopher Sanchez, the expected starting pitcher for the Phillies tonight. And Luis Rengifo has at least 1 hit in 8 out of his last 10 games, and 4 of those games have been multi-hit games. So like what he's been doing for this team overall. It does typically hit lefties pretty well at the same time. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do currently have listed, you have $11,800 remaining, just under $3,000 per player. So we're going to have to get a little bit creative on tonight's slate overall for playing Joe Ryan and, some of these other guys that are a little bit more expensive there. Kind of get creative, get down to some cheap value plays, Or, maybe you pay down that pitcher to somebody else, and then you kind of balance it out the rest of the way from there. A lot of different ways that we can approach tonight's slate overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my cheat sheet and talk about my top GPP teams to stack for tonight overall. So once again, my cheat sheet is up on the Sports Affiliation website. It is 100% free, so definitely be sure to check that out as you're building out your lineups tonight. But the three teams that we're going to target in terms of GPP stacks tonight, we got the Philadelphia Phillies going against Griffin Canning. Not a long list history there in the past, but Griffin Canning has really struggled to the tune of a 7.5 ERA to start off this season. And then we got the Dodgers going against Tommy Henry. His ERA is up over 5. No real history there versus the Dodgers outside like Shohei Ohtani, but definitely do like them as a team to stack tonight. However, if you're playing this Dodgers team and stacking them, probably going to have to pay down at the pitcher position just in general. And then last but not least, we have the Toronto Blue Jays going against, I believe it's Jonathan Ballin. He's like a 27-year-old. That's his third career appearance, so it's going to be him and Kansas City bullpen tonight. So it should be a pretty favorable matchup there. The Blue Jays really haven't been the greatest team to start the year, but this could be a matchup that they take advantage of tonight overall. But with that being said, that's what I do have in terms of the weather report, the core picks, and the top GPP teams to stack for tonight overall. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to drop them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. We do have a baseball game going on later tonight, so prior to about 4 o'clock, I'll have all the starting lineups, all the updates down there as well. After that point in time, I'm going to be a little bit more hit or miss just in general. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking it out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we have MLB DFS Core Pick videos Monday through Friday, as well as my weekly UFL DFS video. Unfortunately, was not able to do that last week with feeling kind of under the weather, and then some of the NFL draft content as well, but we'll be back for week number 6 of UFL. So definitely be sure to check that out if that's something you're into as well. And then last but not least, if you're interested in prop betting, if you're interested in sports betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Prize Picks, and Parlay Play. If you're a brand new user on any one of those 3 sites, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's 100% match up to $100. And then for BetUS, it's 125% match up to $2,500. So some pretty great opportunities to be had out there. And then with that being said, if you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comments or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in MLB DFS tonight.